Now the book is visible to you guys. Okay. Business
Ma, it is visible.
correspondence. Okay, okay, okay. In last class we read about some letters, and today we're gonna complete this block of business communication. And now I'm starting the session. Yes, now. So this unit is about the articles, mass media, and related to publicity and all. Okay, and the name of this unit is business correspondence. Business correspondence. Now, coming to its first topic, which is publicity and public relations. So, anyone want to introduce what is publicity or public relation in your site? You may have heard these words before the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now let me tell you what is publicity. See, when we
Excuse,
address
ma'am.
mass, yes,
Yes, publicity.
yes, speak. You are not audible to me at all. Kindly turn off your mic. Kindly turn off your mic. Thank you, thank you. Let me
No, sorry,
explain
can I
this.
just try to answer?
Yes,
I think public relation is communication or interaction with the public. Like depending on what you're offering or the services offered, you make an impression to the public. Then publicity is practically a display or taking whatever you're offering out there to the public, like showcasing it to the public.
yes. Basically, publicity is the interaction. Okay, it's a way you interact with the public. It's a way you show your product, you show your organization to the public. It's a way to reach out to the public. So when we address mass population at a time, that is known as publicity. That is known as publicity. Now, here you can read it as communication addressed to the public to make a favorable impression on the public mind and develop public relation is known as publicity. Suppose you are commencing a new business, you are starting your own shop. Then, how would you publicize it? How would you can print pamphlets of it. Okay, you can talk to the customers, you can go to direct customers, direct public, and tell them that you are opening your shops. You can go to your friends, or you can post it on social media these days. You can use technology for publicity. So when you reach out to the public for your personal growth or for your personal business growth, basically, then that is known as publicity. And via publicity we can share information to the mass population at the same time. Publicity and public relations are important tools in hand of management to promote business activities. To promote business activities. Poor publicity may spoil public relation and vice versa. If you have poor publicity, if you are doing poor publicity, then it may spoil your public relations. Okay, now moving further, we have some principles to develop the publicity. We have some principles how to do publicity. The first one is attractive presentation. The first one is attractive presentation. Second one is persuasive material. Third one is regularity of presentation. Suppose you are doing publicity using advertisement and all, then the or uh, you are printing the templates, okay, or articles, or you are giving the articles in newspaper about your business or organization. So it should be attractive. It should be attractive, because if it looks attractive, then only people will come and read your notice. And the persuasive material is that you have to discuss only important material in your template or your newspaper, or in the magazine or hoardings. You have to put only important material or stuff there which is directly related to your product, either your product or your business. Regularity of presentation, like regular ads you should do for the publicity. If you are arranging an event from your organization side to the public, then it should be on regular basis. By regular basis, I do not mean that you should put an event in every week. No, it can be yearly, it can be 6 month or half yearly. To start with, the publicity material for a business house may appear in the following forms, which may be addressed to present or prospective customer. They would also put the foundation of good public relation or further development. Now we have some medium of public relation or publicity. The first one is press advertisement, second handbills, third circular letters, fourth catalogs and price lists, fifth miscellaneous. Moving to the first, press advertisement. Advertisement in newspaper and magazines occupy an important place in sales effort of a business house. You may have seen so many advertisement in newspaper of so many brands. So these, first of all, these advertisements should look attractive. That's the only way to attract the people eyes, okay, the people's attention. If the copy of advertisement is attractive, it holds the attention of the reader and turns them from a mere reader into a prospective buyer. Press advertisement not only convey the message but also help to educate the people, which ultimately lead to favorable public relations. If no one knows about if no one knows about your shop, then you can do one thing. You can advertise, or you can advertise in newspaper about your organization or business or shop, or in a magazine, in a popular magazine. Here are some example of press advertisement you can see. First one is to let, second one for sale, lost and found. These are the examples you can see. To let for housing problems, okay, for sale, like a 2009 model Hyundai Santro, well maintained, only 10,000 kilometer driven. Interested person may contact to this number. So these are the examples of press advertisement. Coming to the point, handbills. Cost wise, it is very cheap method of publicity. Like it's a cheaper source of publicity. Templates for company, it's the cheapest source. The effect of handbills is localized and temporary unless it is replaced time and again. It builds up good public relation when it is coupled with some other incentives like offer of discounts, bonus or gifts. You have seen many of the malls use these strategies, like they put templates everywhere nearby the mall. Sales is here, sales is here. So these are a type of handbill advertisement or handbill publicity. Coming to the point, circular letters. When a business firm wishes to convey some special information like introduction of a new product, distribution of dealership, or change of address. Circular letters are sent to a large number of non customers. Circular letters are sent to a large number of non customers. So these are circular letters, and here is the view of a circular letter. Let me read it for you. Kamal Textile Company. This is the address to all the dealers. Dear sir, now the subject. Our new factory. Our present factory at Okla is very small with no space available for expansion. We have therefore put up a new factory at plot number 2, sector 5, Faridabad. We have to we have put up new sheds and also provided for separate dyeing, bleaching, wrapping and printing sections. It will now be a composite unit and everything will be done under one roof. We shall now be in a position to meet the increasing demand for all types and colored, varieties of plain, colored, and printed handlooms fabric. We thank you for your patronage in the past and look forward to its continuance. We also invite you to pay a visit to our new factory at your convenience. Yours truly, Neil Kamal Textile Company. So, here by this letter or by this circular letter, the Nilkamal Textile Company have let known to all its dealers or customer that they have shifted their factory. Okay, they have shifted their organization from one place to another. So that's how circular letters work. Catalogs and price list. When a firm on its own or on request sends catalog and price list to its esteemed customers, it narrows down the distance between itself and the prospective buyers. The individual buyers feel that the seller is concerned about his requirement. A regular contact of this sort develops better image of the seller. So this is a catalog and price list publicity. You have read the letters of catalog in last session. Now coming to the miscellaneous. Publicity may also be done by way of display and decoration in exhibition and fairs. We can organize fairs or exhibitions for our customers. Then, or when we do or when we give free samples to the public, that is also come under the miscellaneous publicity. When we provide special discounts on festivals, okay, schemes on festivals, bonuses, then all these things come under the miscellaneous publicity. You may have received free samples of some brands at railway station, at airports, okay, at public transportation. So what are these? These are the example of publicity. Is it clear? I guess it is clear. Now coming to the letters to editors. Letters to editors. When we write a letter to editor of a newspaper or when we write a letter to a newspaper, then it is known as a letter to editors. Letter to editors. Writing letters to the editors of newspaper is another important activity which highlights opinion about certain issue. Okay, on many issues of local, national, or international interest, some readers get excited and wish to convey their opinion as well, or they feel like giving their specific views on an article or editorial published in the newspaper or magazine. So instead of writing a full length article, they write a small letter addressed to the editor giving their own comments or arguments on a particular subject. The advantage of printing such letter is that a common man feels involved in such local, national, or international problems and develop a sense of participation. Different walk of life with different educational backgrounds and environment look at the same problem from different angles and thereby enrich the knowledge of the readers. Now you may wonder that what is the role of letters to editors in our business communication? What is the role of letters to editors in business? If you have read newspaper, there is a complete section related to the business. In newspaper we have a complete separate section to the business, so we are talking about that section here. Here are some examples of letter to editors, like fraudulent practice. So, sweet services so clients make an interesting reading. It's hard to believe that scores of person parted with their hand-earned money for payment of telephone, water, electricity, and house tax bills in the form of cash or through barred check when payment by crossed check is a well-established and accepted practice. So these are kind of letters public write to the editor. A clarification letters, okay, clarification letter to editor. You can read it or screenshot it. If you want, you can screenshot it and read it later. Okay. Now moving further, postal services. Postal services. It is impossible to run a modern business without use of postal services. Like we have to send our parcels, we have to send consignments from sender to receiver, and who help who help in this system? Postal department. Department help a receiver or sender for the exchange of consignments, parcels, and other stuffs. So it is impossible to run a modern business without the use of postal services. Letters of all kinds are sent and received by business house every day, an intermediary between the senders and receiver in the postal departments. Letters from one business to another business is also sent via using postal department or postal services. Postal department offers a variety of services which are telegraphic communication, remittance services, postal services. Now, here is the bifurcation of telegraphic communication, remittance services like money order, postal order, VPP, and postal services, RDIS, registration, certificate of posting, parcel, speed post, and all this stuff. Now, we will read this point in major, like telegraphic communication. Telegraphic communication. Postal telegram service was started in 1850. Postal telegram service was started in 1850. If we talk about the ancient time or about 90s or I guess 60s, when every people of the community doesn't have access to the phones. Okay, there is one phone in one area. There was one phone, or basically a telephone, a hand telephone in one area. So what we used to do, we used to call a number, then we have to tell the name of the person we want to talk and the area. We have to tell the area they live in. Then the postal service or the middleman take the call and put us on the call with that person. That's how telegraph communication used to work at that time, and these were done in postal services or postal departments. The person who connects one person to another person was the postal department employee. So postal telegram service was started in year of 1850. After serving the Indian public for 163 years, it was closed on July 14, 2013. We haven't seen postal telegram or telegraphic communication after July 14, 2013, because we have new technology now. Okay, we rely on new technology like modern modes of communication, mobile phones, email, SMS, WhatsApp, Insta, etc. and etc. So these were the telegraphic communication. Now it is not seen in present day, but it was used to. It was used to a service of postal department. Now, remittance service like money order. What is a money order? A money order is an order issued by one post office to another post office. Remember, issued by one post office to another post office to pay a certain sum of money only to the person named therein. Just like the banks. Just like the banks. Okay. When a bank issue when a bank issue an order to another bank to pay a certain sum of money to the person named there, that is known as money order. But in this case we have post office. Bank is not issuing any order, but post office is issuing an order or a money order to another post office to pay a certain sum of money only to the person named there. That is known as money order. The person who remits the money is known as remitter, and the one who receives the money is known as payee. Remits means who sends the money. Okay. Telegraphic money order. Telegraphic money order, or TMO we say in general. A telegraphic money order facility is used when money needs to be sent urgently. If you want to send money urgently, then you can use TMO, telegraphic money order. The instruction for payment to addressee from remitting post office to the receiving post office are sent telegraphically. The remitter has to write the words TMO on the order, on the money order from, and hand it over along with the money to the post office. And you will get the money quick in this scenario. Now coming to the postal orders. Postal orders provide another means of remitting money. They are kind of bank draft. They are kind of bank draft drawn by one post office on another, directing it to pay the value of the postal order to a specified person. To a specified person. Now, VPP, valuable payable post. When any article or parcel sent under VPP is delivered to addressee only on payment of cash. Okay, now you have to pay cash before sending any parcel. Now you have to pay cash. When you pay cash before applying a parcel to be sent, then that is known as valuable payable post, VPP. It's a cash selling by post. The amount is paid to the sender of the article. The amount is paid to the sender of the article. It should be noted that the amount specified for remittance to the sender in the case of VPP article cannot exceed 1000 rupees. Cannot exceed rupees 1000. Means your article must be under rupees 1000. Now, mail and postal services. Mail and postal services. The most important function of post offices is to provide mail and other postal services. Like when you post a letter, when you post a letter using the name of another business, okay, or in the name of another business, then who will send it to the business or the organization? Postal department. So it is the most important function of post office to provide mail and other postal services. Ordinarily, mail is sent in envelopes or by inland letters and postcards. Rates of these services are revised from time to time. If a letter is posted unpaid or insufficiently paid, panel rates are recovered from the addressee at the time of making the delivery. The panel rates are recovered from the addressee at the time of making the delivery. Now we have some postal services under this section, which is certificate of posting. Certificate of posting. When a sender needs a proof of having posted any ordinary postal article to the addressee, when a sender needs a proof, he needs a proof of having posted any ordinary postal article to the addressee, he can post it under certificate of posting. He can post it under certificate of posting. The sender has to fill in the name and address of the addressee in the form of supplied by post office, affix the requirement stamp on it, and present article and the form of post office. So this is certificate of posting. Recorded delivery intimation to sender. RDIS. Recorded delivery intimation to sender. When the sender of a letter requires proof of sending the letter and also the proof of delivery, then it is known as RDIS. Then it is known as RDIS. Here, the sender is required the proof of sending letter as well as the proof of delivery, that the article he sends have delivered to the person he sent. So that is known as recorded delivery intimation to sender. He makes use of RDI services in that case. The packet or letter sent under RDI is handed over to the post office along with the form with the name and address of the sender as well as that of the receiver. The postal clerk puts his signature and date stamp on the form and return it to the sender. It also puts down the total cost, which includes postal charge for the letter plus service charge for the intimation service. The amount is taken from the sender. The amount is taken from the sender. So that is RDIS. Now coming to the registration. Registration of mail is a facility which makes the delivery of article safe and assured. It makes the delivery of an article or parcel safe and assured. A letter, postcard, packet or parcel may be sent by registered post. The prepayment of postage and registration fee is compulsory. Sometimes registration is compulsory. Now we see in which cases registration is compulsory. Any article bearing the word registered, any packet or parcel weighing more than 5 kgs. If your parcel is weighing more than 5 kgs, then you have to send it under registration. An insured article, a parcel requires custom declaration. If a packet containing valuables, then we have to send under registration. A VPP article, a registered article reposted alter having been delivered. Postal insurance. Postal insurance, as the name says insurance, here we get insured of our article. We get insurance of our article. Postal insurance is a service that combines safe delivery of postal article and cover for risk of loss or damage in transit. If there are any risk of loss or damage in transit, then the postal department will pay to you. The post office undertake the responsibility of for any loss caused to the article to the extent of insured amount. Insurance is compulsory in the case of letter or parcel containing valuable articles, currency notes, jewelry, golds, or silvers, or any valuable article. In that case, postal insurance is necessary. Coming to the point, parcel. All articles except some prohibitive one weighing up to 20 kgs can be sent by parcel post. Payment of postage on parcel is compulsory. A parcel should be carefully packed so that its content may remain in safe condition. In safe condition. So every parcel or article which is under 20 kilogram is known as parcel. Speed post. As the name says, your article will be delivered in urgency. Okay. Speed post is a postal service at an extra cost whereby a regular arrangement can be made under a contract for collection of letters, documents, and parcel up to 20 kgs from the very door of the sender to be delivered the next day to any major city in India. Postal article can also be sent by speed post to villages or town, which may take little longer, but it is faster than by ordinary post. It is faster than by ordinary post. When the receiver receives your article in a day, okay, in the very next on the very next day, or on that particular day you send the article, then that is known as speed post. You have to pay extra for the speed post. Post resident. When a person moves from one town to another and he doesn't have any definite address, he may get his letter or other postal articles through the post office of respective town. Suppose you are a traveler and a businessman too. Okay, now you don't have a particular address or a definite address. Sometimes you are at a place and very next time you are at a different place. Then in that case, you can get the article from the respective towns. Okay, you can go to the postal department or post office and grab your article and grab your article. Business reply cards and envelopes. The business reply cards and envelope are sent by traders to their customer to induce them to write without any financial burden. When the customers send back these cards or envelopes without prepayment of postage, the post office collect the charge in cash from the addressee. Cash from the addressee. Business reply card or envelope should have following information printed on the side where address is written. The first one is the name of the person or business house to whom they are addressed free of charge. Permit number, the name of post office issuing the permit, and so on. Here you can see a business reply card. Here you can see a business reply card. Postage will be paid by the addressee. It is written here. New Delhi. It's the address. No postage stamp necessary if posted in India, and that's the address. Post box and post bag facility. Post box and post bag facility. It's a very unique facility, okay, and very good facility too. Sometimes people don't want to reveal their address. They don't want to reveal their address to other person. Then how can they receive the parcels or articles under their name? In that case, these person do, they they uh, they apply for a post box. Basically, they apply for a post box in post office, and post office allot them a post office allot them a post box which is within the post office, and they can go in the post office and can collect the material or all the mails or all the articles they receive from others. Okay, now let us read from here. Post office offer post box facility for those persons who either do not have a permanent address, or who do not wish to let others know their address. On payment of nominal fees ordinarily charged on quarterly or yearly basis, the post office allots a post box number or a post box. The allottee then uses this number in all his correspondence or advertisement. All mails received in the name of allottees is kept in this box. He arranges to collect his mail from the post box at his convenience. It's a very good facilities post offices are providing. Postal life insurance. Postal Life Insurance (PLI) was first started on February 1st, 1884 as a welfare scheme for the postal employees. It was subsequently extended to the employees of Indian Telegraph Department also. In 1894, the PLI scheme was also started for the female employees. It was started for the female employees of the Post and Telegraph Department and Telegraph Department. So this is what postal life insurance is. It provide an insurance to the employees in ITO or IT department. Indian IT means Indian Technological Department or Indian Telegraph Department here. And in 1894, they started this scheme for female employees as well. Indian Post Payment Banks. Indian Post Payment Banks was set up on 30 January 2017 under the Department of Post, Ministry of Commission, Government of India, with the objective to provide every household in India an access to efficient banking service. What was the objective of Indian Postal Bank payment banks is to provide every household in India and access to efficient banking services. During a short span of 4 years, IPPB IPPB has extended its service across India through a network of 650 IPB branches were the slogan "Aapka bank aapka dwar." That means your bank at your doorstep. Your bank at your doorstep. This slogan is written here is in Hindi language. Aapka bank, aapka dwar. Aapka means yours. Your bank at your doorstep. Now, these are the services IIPB is providing to us, like deposit, saving account or current account, money transfer, simple and secure, 24 into 7 services, direct benefit transfer, Manrega, scholarship, etc. Third party products like loan, insurance, investment, post office saving schemes, bills and utility payments like mobile and DTH recharge, electricity, water and gas bills, donation and insurance premiums, enterprises and merchant payments like postal products, digital payments of e-commerce delivery, small merchant kirana stores, organized retail, and etc. services. So yes, this is all about the postal services. Is it clear?
Yes, it is clear, ma, but I need more explanation about postal insurance.
Postal insurance.
Yeah,
Okay.
postal life insurance.
PLI. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Your voice is not clear. Let me explain PLI for you. See, postal life insurance was first started on February 1st, 1884. It, it was a welfare scheme for the postal employees. Whoever working in the post offices or the employees of post offices, it was the scheme for them. Okay, it was subsequently extended to the employees of Indian Telegraph Department. It was first started for the post office employees, then it later extended to the employees of Indian Telegraph Department. It's a government department which is Indian Telegraph Department. Okay, what were provided there? They have provided an insurance or a life insurance to the employees of the department. Which department? Indian Telegraphic Department. And in 1894, this scheme was also started for the female employees. Before that, female employees were not included in this scheme. Okay, this is postal life insurance. Is it clear now? Basically, it was a scheme for the employees of post office or Indian Telegraph Department.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now moving further to the unit number 9, meeting first. Meeting. What is a meeting? Like when people gather for a common purpose or for a common cause, that is known as meeting in general. Okay, that's the general definition of a meeting. Now, a meeting as an act or process of coming together as an assembly for a common purpose. It may be referred to as the gathering of the people to exchange information or plan joint activities or entertainment or to review the action taken on the program already agreed upon. So this is the meeting. Now we have a general idea of meeting here. A meeting may be defined as the gathering or assembly of people for discussing and deciding an activity of common interest. Discussing and deciding an activity of common interest. In our business organization, we have many meetings. We have to follow many meetings. As an employee we have to attend meetings, or as a CEO or board of director as well we have to attend the meetings of the organization. Now we have classified the meetings in two parts, mainly or generally in two parts. First one is public meetings, second one is private meetings. The first one is public meeting. As the name say, it is for the public. Anyone can come in public meetings. Like if someone is doing a meeting for the public, like politician and all, okay, if they are organizing a meeting for the public, for the general public, then that is known as public meeting. And in such meetings there are no requirement for admission. There are no requirement of admission. Anyone can go there and attend this meeting. That is public meeting. That is public meeting. And the private meeting is further divided into two parts, which is general meeting and committee meeting. General meeting is also further divided into two parts. The first one is annual general meeting, and the second one is special or extraordinary general meeting. Now let's discuss these meetings. Public meeting. Public meetings are those which are attended by members of the public. For such a meeting, general invitation may be published in newspaper or displayed in posters or oblique and disturbed as leaflets. Everyone has a right to attend the public meetings. Everyone has right to attend the public meetings unless the right of admission is otherwise restricted. Okay. The purpose of these meetings is usually to disseminate information or impart knowledge or create a public opinion for a cause belief or some matters of general interest. Some matter of general interest. Public meetings may be held to raise money, increase membership, arouse public interest, make spiritual or material appeal, or to educate the people. These are the cause why we held public meetings. Such meetings may be held in a big auditorium to accommodate the large number of people or in open grounds or public parks. Now coming to the private meeting. Coming to the private meeting. Private meetings are those which admission in which to which admission is restricted to only the members of an association or society. If you're the part of a society, then only you can join those meetings. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay. These includes meeting of companies, trade unions, clubs, and the similar other organized body. If we talk about the government also do public meetings. It's not like that any person can go to the parliament. Any person, any normal person, common person can go to the parliament in public meetings or in the meetings there. No one can attend these meetings. So these are a kind of private meeting as well. Now we have divided private meetings in two parts: general meetings or special meetings, general meetings or committee meetings. Now, general meetings are called to discuss the matter of common interest to the member of an organization. Every member of a company or an association has a right to receive the notice of such meetings and to attend the same accordingly. Before any meeting we have to perform so many activities, and out of this the first activity is to provide a notice to to the attendants or to the members of the society, or to the members of the company, to the members of association, whoever you are raising a meeting for. We have to provide a notice to them. We have to give a prior notice to them that they have to attend this meeting. And in that notice, we have to mention the purpose of the meeting as well, and the date and time of the meeting. Date, day, and time of the meeting. Such meetings are held once a year, in which case they are called annual general meeting. General meetings are also divided into two parts. First one is annual general meeting, annual general meeting, and second one is special extraordinary meeting, special or extraordinary meetings. So the annual general meetings, as the name says, like it will be held once in a year. Okay, and we carry this meeting we had this meeting for some reasons, and these reasons are mentioned here: electing members of board of directors of a company, managing committee, and such other offices of an association as may be provided in the bylaws. Second one, consideration of auditors reports and passing the account of previous year, and appointing the auditors for the next year and fixing their remuneration. These kinds of meeting held in every organization. Annual meeting held in every organization, or I say in every big organization, once in a year. Now, the special or extraordinary meetings. Every meeting other than annual general meeting is known as special or extraordinary general meeting. Every meeting other than annual general meeting is known as special or extraordinary general meeting. This meeting is called when any business is to be transacted immediately and cannot be kept pending until the annual general meeting. A special general meeting may be called at any time by a resolution of the board or the managing committee or the receipt of the requisition from the members as per the bylaws. These meetings are usually called to make alteration in memorandum or in the articles like MOA, memorandum of association, or articles of association, bylaws, or for removal of a director or any statutory officer of the organization. Committee meeting. Other than general meetings, we have some committee meeting. A company is managed by a board of directors whose members are elected from amongst the general body of shareholders. Other associations are managed by executive committee or a governing body or a managing committee whose members are elected as per their respective bylaws, whatever the rules and regulations are followed in that organization. The meetings of such committees are called as committee meetings. The executive or managing committee meetings are held from time to time to frame policies as per the guidance given in the general body meeting and to take various decisions relating to the aim and objective of the association. So, this is the part of committee meeting. Moving further, requisites of a valid meeting. Requisites of a valid meeting. The meeting must be convened properly by the person or the authority duly authorized to do so. A proper notice should be sent as per the bylaws to all the persons who are entitled to attend the meeting or to vote at the meeting. Otherwise, the proceedings of the meeting will be invalid. Otherwise, the proceedings of the meeting will be invalid. The meeting must be lawful. It must be held at a lawful place, that is, a place not prohibited by any law for a lawful purpose, that is, not against public policy or interest, and must not disturb public peace and order. Your organization meeting must not disturb public peace and order. The meeting must have a quorum prescribed according to its rules and regulations. Quorum means the minimum number of authorized person who have to receive or who have to attend a meeting. Quorum means minimum number of authorized person who have to attend the meeting. So quorum should be maintained. If quorum is not maintained, that then the meeting will not be valid. Then the meeting will not be valid. The meeting must always be presided over by the chair or by a chairman. The chairman in the case of public meeting is appointed by the conveners or by those who are present. In the case of registered bodies, the chairman is appointed according to the respective rules and regulations. Proceedings of a meeting must be regulated according to the law governing the particular meeting. Proper record of the proceeding at the meeting must be kept. Means you have to record the whole proceeding of the meeting. Let me explain this quorum in detail. So quorum is the minimum members required to attend the meeting. Suppose you are you are holding a meeting as a board of directors. We have 7 board of directors. Then in that case, and it is written in a rule book that any motion can be passed. Any motion can be passed in a meeting if there are minimum five. If there are minimum 5 board of directors. if there are minimum 5 board of directors, then that is a rule, that is a rule according to the books of organization. Okay, it's just an example, it's just an example. Now you have sent a notice to all 7 members or all 7 board of directors, and out of this only four came in the meeting. Out of this only 4 came in the meeting. So the quorum didn't maintain. Okay, quorum didn't maintain, so the decision this meeting will be taken. So the board of directors, whatever decision they will take in this meeting, will not be applied in the organization. That what quorum means you should pass a minimum criteria of authorized person for valid transaction of business. Where where no quorum is prescribed where no quorum is prescribed, presumable at least 2 person must be present. At least 2 person must be present. If the quorum is not prescribed by the rules or regulations or by the law of their organization, then in that case at least 2 person must be present, as it is impossible for one person to constitute a meeting. So is quorum clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Excuse ma'am.
Yes.
Um, quorum. This quorum, is quorum determined? Is it the management that are organizing meeting that will determine quorum, or the members or other members of the meeting?
What did you just ask?
Okay.
Can you please
What I
repeat?
says is assuming I'm having a company,
Yes.
and there are, let's say, 5 management board,
Okay.
and we also have staff
Your voice
members
is
that are not
cutting down.
management. Yes, we have staff that are, let's say, 20. Is it the staff members that will join the meeting that will determine quorum, or is the management that will determine quorum? The number of staff in attendance, or the number of management in attendance, which one will determine quorum, please?
The board of directors, or when you start an organization, then a MOA is made. MOAs, which is memorandum of association, and an article of association is made for an organization. MOA and AOA, memorandum of association and article of association, is compulsory for every company. Okay, before commencing any company, it is compulsory for every company to create a memorandum of association and article of association. And in these things this quorum is written. Okay, in this thing this quorum is written, that how they will proceed the meetings, and what quorum are decided for their business organization. So it is already mentioned there. And every company have different MOA and AOA, and they have to work with that. If you need to change if you want to alter any article from AOA of your company, then you have to present a motion. It's just like the government. You have to maintain a minimum number of members in parliament as well to pass a bill, to get pass a bill. That is what quorum means. It's not like that you are doing a meeting by your own self. One board of director or one manager took the decision, and the MOA or AOA of the companies changes. It's not like that.
Yeah, okay, I get it now. Thank you.
Rules governing meetings. One of the requisites of valid meetings is that it must be properly conducted. All meetings are therefore governed by a set of rules. All meetings are therefore governed by a set of rules. In case of statutory bodies like Parliament, as I just mentioned, Parliament, in case of statutory bodies like Parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or you can just skip this part. In case of statutory bodies like Parliament, state legislative assemblies, joint stock companies, cooperative societies, municipalities, etc., rules are separately framed and prescribed for meetings. Rules are separately framed and prescribed for meetings. Okay, the rules are pre-decided for a meeting to held. The rules governing the meeting of parliament are known as standing order. The rules governing the meeting of parliament are known as standing orders. For local bodies and registered societies, the rules are laid down in bylaws. Okay, the rules are mentioned in bylaws. In the case of joint stock company or in the case of a company, the rules are laid down in its article of association. AOA, Articles of Association. In the case of non-statutory bodies of associations, rules may be framed as deemed proper by the promoters or founders. Promoters or founders. So we have some rules, and it was pre-decided rules. In the company, we have article of association. In this AOA of every company, it is mentioned how they will hold a meeting, how they will hold a meeting, but what will be the rule of their meeting, how a person need to behave, how a motion or bill get passed, when can the board of directors amend the article of association. Okay, and what is the process of amendment of the article of association? If we need to if we need to change one article or one rule of the company, then we have to follow a procedure. And what procedure we have to follow? It is written in the article of association itself. That is rules governing meetings. Is my point clear to you guys?
Yes, ma. It's clear.
Okay. Now we have some points to kept in view regarding rules governing meetings are as follows. If rules are laid down under any act, the same must be followed without exception. The same must be followed without exception. Like if the rules laid down the Companies Act, Cooperative Societies Act, then then you have to follow those rules. If the society or association has framed its own rules for conduct of meetings, those are to be followed unless there is met any conflict with the rules prescribed under law. If the rules are not prescribed under the law nor framed by the association, but is the customary and established by convention, should govern the conduct of meeting. So these are some points you need to keep in mind. Preparation for and conduct of meeting. To be well organized, a meeting needs advanced preparation, which have to be undertaken by the secretary or any other person responsible calling the meeting. Any other person responsible calling the meeting. So at first we have to give a notice to all the members of the meeting. Notice of a meeting is an initiative to the members to attend it on a specified day, time, and place, as well as the intimation of business to be transacted thereat. Like what business activity or what business point we will be discussing in the meeting is mentioned in the notice only. Form of notice. Notice of a public meeting is usually given by an advertisement. If you are organizing a public meeting, then you need to advertise it in newspaper or by posters, okay, by pamphlets. But for private meeting, whether general or committee meeting, a written notice should be sent to all those entitled to attend the meeting. And you can send this notice using mails. Okay, if you want to give a hard copy of the notice, then you can just post it to the members of the organization who need to attend the meeting. The mode of communicating the notice is usually prescribed in the rules and regulation of an organization. The mode of communicating the notice, see, the mode of communicating the notice as well is also written in the article of association or in the rules and regulation of an organization. So you have to follow these rules. Content of a notice. A notice convincing a meeting must clearly state the date, time, place, and business of the meeting and the point of the meeting. In some special business is to be transacted in the meeting. It should be clearly indicated. It should be clearly indicated so that the members get prepared for the meeting. If you don't tell them what this meeting is about, then they do not prepare about the meeting. Length of time of a notice. Usually by laws of the organization stipulate a minimum period of notice for certain meetings. When notice is given, some more time beyond the minimum period may be allowed so that the member at distance could make necessary arrangements and attend the meetings. Means you need to give a prior notice. A prior notice. There must be a distance between the date you provide notice to the members and the date meeting will be held. Who should issue the notice? Either the director or the chairman. In the case of meeting of registered bodies, the chairman may also convene a meeting under his signature. For company meetings, the secretary issue the notice under the order of board of directors. Under the order of board of directors. Whom to issue notice? In an organization, many people work. Okay, in an organization, numerous of people work, and sometimes it is not necessary to call everyone or every person of the organization. So you need to consider who this whom to send the issue notice. In the case of a registered body, a person to whom notice is to be given will be determined by the article of association or by some other law like the Indian Companies Act. By the Indian Companies Act. For instance, notice of annual general meeting of a company must be sent to the auditor of the company as well as the member of their registered addresses or their legal representatives. Mean of communication of notice. Mean of communication of notice. For all the meetings, notice should be served only through the prescribed means as given in the bylaws, and not other mode should be adopted. Whatever written in your article book or in your rules book, you have to go with that. Notice must always be dispatched to the registered address unless a separate mailing address is specifically given in writing, which should be accordingly used. Notice of an adjourned meeting. Notice of an adjourned meeting. A properly convened meeting may be adjourned due to want of the quorum. Okay, if the minimum members are not qualified, then the meeting can be adjourned and we have to send a notice for adjourned meeting. A properly convened meeting may be adjourned due to want of quorum if the rules so provided. An adjourned meeting is usually held next week at the same time and place for which no fresh notice need to be given to the members. No fresh notice need to be given to the members. Suppose uh, 4 out of 7 members 4 out of 7 members deny to attend the meeting at the time you set for the meeting. Then in that case there will be a notice of an adjourned meeting. There will be a notice at of an adjourned meeting, and the meeting will usually held in next week. It will be set up to for next week. Withdrawal of a notice. Once notice of a meeting has been issued, it cannot be withdrawn unless the rules so provided. If it is written in your rules book that you can withdraw a notice or meeting notice, then only you can withdraw it. Otherwise, you cannot. The meeting must be held on the appointed day, though it can be adjourned by passing a resolution to a more convenient date if it is written in your rules book, which means articles of association. Rectification of an irregular notice. An irregular notice can be subsequently rectified, that is approved as a valid notice by appropriate authority. For instance, when a notice for board meetings has been issued by secretary without being authorized to do so, it can be rectified by all the directors. Waiver. A notice is given to convene a meeting to transact some specified business only. But if all the members unanimously agree, they can waive the formality of issuing a notice and transact other business. Invalid notice. Notice of every meeting must be given in a proper form at a proper time and in proper manner as prescribed in the rules or bylaws. Wherever any error of omission or commission in committee in this regard, it will be invalidate the notice. It will invalidate the notice. There is an example of invalid notice. No, it's an example of annual general meeting of a club. It's an example of annual general meeting of a club. You can screenshot it and read it later. You can screenshot it and read it later. Now, moving to the next point. Agenda. Agenda means what thing to be done. What thing to be done. Now you have prepared a notice, but you have to mention an agenda as well. Like why you are holding this meeting. What's the point of the meeting? That is known as agenda. Agenda means what thing to be done. In relation to meeting, it is used to indicate the item of business to be transacted in that meeting. It is a program listed on paper which gives the detail of matter to be discussed and decided upon at a meeting in the serial order. Like what points we will discuss in the meeting. It's not always like we have to discuss only one point in a meeting. Sometimes we have numerous points and numerous matter to discuss in meeting. Then in agenda we mention all these matters. We mention all these matters, and the members who are going to attend the meetings will prepare them for the meeting according to the agendas. So it is important, because if we not provide agenda to them, then how they can argue and think about the matter wisely in the meeting. The purpose of agenda is to inform member about the item to be discussed in the meeting. To be discussed in the meeting. It's written here in a simple language. Agenda of meeting constitute an essential part of the notice and is usually sent along with it. And is usually sent along with it. Agenda is usually sent along with the notice. Along with the notice. Companies do not send notice first and then agenda. Okay, they just send both of the items together, notice and agenda at the same time. Preparation of agenda. It is the responsibility of the secretary to prepare the agenda in consultation with the chairman. It should be prepared much before the date of the meeting so that it could be circulated among all the members well on time. Now we have two types of agenda papers. First one is routine item and second one carries special items. These are the routine items like election of chairman, reading out of notice, convincing the meeting, reading out of minutes of the previous meeting, chairman's speech, and etc. Special items of agenda consists of those items which do not arise in routine manner or regularly in the agenda or regularly in the agenda. Now we have a notice and the agenda of a meeting of board of director of a company. You can read it from here. This is the main body of the notice. Salutation, dear sir. Now the main body. This is to inform you that the next meeting of the board of directors will be held at the registered office of the company on Wednesday, July 7th, 2020 at 11:30 a.m. to transact the following business, and you are requested to be present. The agenda is to read and approve the minute of the last board meeting, to consider application for transfers of shares, to approve the list of accounts for payments, to fix the list of accounts of payments, to consider appointment of the manager of Kanpur office, any other matter with the permission of the chair. So this is how a notice agenda looks like. Role of secretary. Role of a secretary. The secretary should maintain a current file for the meeting. Everything related to a meeting is seen by a secretary only. Okay, is managed by a secretary. Like the secretary should maintain a current file for meeting and keep all the relevant papers and reference in the same. Okay, he should check and arrange all important matters to be on the agenda for discussion at the meeting. He should check that notice is sent to the every relevant person or relevant member of the meeting. The secretary should finalize the date, time, place of the meeting in the consultation with the chairman. The secretary should finalize the notice and the agenda, convenes the meeting, and arrange for the dispatch of the notice in the manner prescribed in bylaws. So, all these things related to meeting or managing the meeting is the role of secretary. Is the role of secretary. Now coming to the point, quorum. I guess you know this now. I explained it earlier. Like it is a minimum number of members required for a action or making law in the meeting. The minimum number of members of a body required to assemble to establish legal competence for transaction of a business's quorum. What is the minimum number? The number of the person forming a quorum depends upon the size of the body. Depends upon the size of the body, and thus no general rule can be laid down in this regard. The bylaws of an organization generally lay down the quorum in the absence of which the meeting will not be properly constituted. The question may arise whether one person can constitute a lawful quorum. Ordinarily, no. There must be at least two persons to constitute the quorum of a meeting, to constitute the quorum of a meeting of any registered body, and thus two is the minimum number for a quorum. Two is the minimum number for a quorum. However, one person can constitute a meeting and fulfill the requirements of a quorum under the following circumstances. When can one person fulfill the requirement of a quorum? Where one person holds the total share of a certain class. When you are the sole owner of the company, then you can uh, held a meeting, or you can just take the rule, or you can just create a rule by your own, because you are the owner or the person who holds the total share of a certain class. Where one creditor has lodged a proof of fact in winding up, he can constitute a valid quorum. Where there is a committee of one, a meeting can be held by that person. If the committee already is of only one person, then a meeting can be held by that one person. A meeting can be held by that one person. And that's not considered as a meeting, that's the decision a person take. Computing quorum. While counting the number of a person forming a quorum, only those attending members who can vote should be counted. Who can vote should be counted. The person who cannot vote and already attending the meeting should not be counted in the quorum. An auditor attending a meeting as an invitee. An auditor attending a meeting as an invitee but not allowed to vote on any agenda item will not form a part of quorum, or will not be considered as a part of quorum. Now, role of a chairman and his powers and duties. Role of a chairman and his power and duties. Chairman also has very important role in conducting a meeting. A chairman is the person, male or female, who presides over the meeting. Who presides over the meeting? The chairman acts as the conductor of the meeting, and therefore the success or failure of a meeting greatly depends upon his skills and experience and the competence. He enforces all the prescribed rules and regulation, bylaws, and standing order for regulating the proceeding at the meeting. Or he sees if the proceedings are going by the laws, by the rules, or by fair means. Now we have some power of chairman, and these power of chairman is the duties of chairman too. To conduct the meeting, a chairman can call the meeting, okay. To confirm minutes, like a chairman has to confirm the minutes of the previous meeting in the subsequent meeting. To decide the point of order, point of order may be raised by the member attending the meeting if some member speaks anything irrelevant to the motion, or if there is no quorum present. To expel disorderly members, if someone is misbehaving, okay, disorderly, then they can expel him. The chairman can expel him. To stop the discussion on matter, you're not seeing the screen. Is screen not visible to you?
Yes,
Is the
ma'am.
book material not visible to you? It's not
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Let me present it to you again. You didn't mention it.
It should be unmuted. Some of us are still able to see the screen.
Let me present it to you again, okay? If there's any problem like this, you can just write the message. Please mention it to me. Wait a minute.
It's visible now, ma'am.
Is it
Thank you,
visible
ma'am.
now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 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 To order the poll, it is the duty of chairman to stop the discussion on a matter, to declare the result of voting, to exercise the casting vote. Okay. To order the poll, to exercise the casting votes. It's all the duty of a chairman. And there are some more duties like appointment as a chairman, duty convince the meeting, quorum, checking the quorum if it is maintained or not, to confirm minutes, order of business according to agenda, order of business according to agenda, to look the meeting is going according to the agenda or not, if we are discussing the point of agenda or not, to maintain the order, member to address chairman, no discussion unless there is a specification, to give equal opportunity to all the speak. The chairman should not be the biased, okay? He or she should give equal opportunity to all the speaker, to all the person, to all the members. To, to decide the order of priority of members to speak, to allow mover of motion to reply to debate. So these are some duties of the chairman in a meeting. Now this unit is complete. We are moving to the next unit. It's the second part of meeting. Okay. Now we have now we have known to the notice, like how to prepare the notice, what is a notice, what is agenda, what's the duties and power of a chairman, what is quorum. Now we need to know how the proceedings work. How the proceedings work. We have sent notice to the members. We have sent agenda to the members. Now it's time for the meeting. What held in a meeting? It will be discussed in this unit. The first point is motion. The first point is motion. So motion is basically a topic on which we do discussion. On which we do discussion. It's a discussion on the topic of the meeting. It is a motion. A motion signifies a proposition or proposal on any idea of business submitted to the meeting of for consideration and decision. Now, if we take an example, suppose we need to change a rule. We need to change a rule from article of association of a company, and for that purpose, we have called a meeting. We have called a meeting for of board of directors and some managers like general managers and all. So in that case, when meeting held, we have a motion, and that motion is that we want to change that particular rule. We want to change that particular rule. So that's the topic of discussion, which is motion. It's proposal or suggestion that's put before the meeting or that put before the vote for discussion and decision. It's not like that if we have mentioned it in our agenda that we want to change this rule of article of association, then in the meeting, in the start of the meeting, we just go for the voting of this. No, before the voting we have to discuss the points, like what I am thinking, that what's the need to change this rules. There will be some defending something. Okay, some person may defend the prior rule, but some person will against the rule. So it's a discussion, a debate, and it is held prior the voting. It is held prior the voting. Now, a motion should ordinarily be put in writing, dated, and signed by the mover. The person who start a motion is known as a mover. Okay, who initiate a motion is known as mover. A motion should also be duly seconded by some other member. When the chairman of the meeting himself moves a motion, it need not be seconded. A motion must be within the scope of meeting and relevant to the business on the agenda. Means whatever it is written on agenda, you have to discuss that point only. You have to discuss that point by that point. It should be clear and ambiguous. It should not contain any argument, interference, or any defamatory expression. So these are some points we need to consider while uh, showing a motion, okay, while preceding a motion in a meeting. Withdrawal of a motion. Withdrawal of a motion. The mover of a motion has right to speak on the motion. The person who is initiating the motion has right to speak on the motion or on the topic. He can also withdraw a motion. He can also withdraw the motion before it is put to the vote. Before it is put to the vote. But if it is put to the vote once, then no one can withdraw it. No one can withdraw it. Okay, then the decision will come if the rule will change or not change in our example case. Then the decision will come. Procedure of moving a motion. Procedure of moving a motion. The chairman asks the mover to formally move his motion. In the absence of notice, the proposer of the motion may arise and, with the permission of chairman, formally introduce the motion. If there was no notice, or agenda, then in that case, with the permission of the chairman, the proposer of the motion may arise in the meeting with the permission of the chairman and formally introduce the motion, and later on the members will discuss on the motion. So this is the motion. Now coming to the points amendments. Sometimes, suppose now I have presented my motion that I want to change this particular rule of the company. Now the defendants of that rule are suggesting some amendments. Okay, they are saying that we have created the wrong draft and we need to change something in the draft. We need to alter our draft, we need to modify our draft. So alteration and modification in a motion is known as amendment. Alteration and modification in the motion here is known as amendment. An amendment is the alteration proposed in items of a motion. And a person, if I am the person who initiated the motion, or if you are the person who moved the motion, that person cannot amend, that person cannot raise for the amendment of the motion. Okay, for that amendment you need to secure a second person. For that amendment you need to secure a second person, so that they can rise in the meeting and say we need to amend our motion. The person who moved the motion cannot amend the motion. And any change or alteration in the motion is known as amendment. Is motion and amendments clear? Are they clear?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, we are through.
Okay.
Yes, clear, ma.
Okay. General rules regarding amendments. An amendment should relate to the main motion and should not negate it or introduce a new topic. It's negotiated, I guess. It should not be obstructive or dilatory to the proceeding. It should be introduced with the intention of amending the original motion only. It should be introduced amending the original motion only. Now we have some procedure of handling amendments. When amendment is moved to an original motion and the chairman accepts the same, discussion on the original motion is stopped. Now the discussion on the amendment takes place. Only those person who have not spoken on the main motion, only those person who have not spoken on the main motion are allowed to speak, are allowed to speak. As I said earlier, the person who moved the motion cannot ask for the amendment of the motion. The person who haven't spoken or who haven't spoken on the main motion are allowed to speak. After sufficient discussion, the chairman puts the amendments to the vote. After sufficient discussion, the chairman puts the amendments to the vote. Okay. Moving further, we have one this point, amendment to an amendment. Amendment to an amendment, that means when a proposition is made to amend or alter an amendment. Now here we have amend, now here we have amend our motion. Okay, now we have the amended motion, now we have the amended motion. But when we have to do amendment in our amended motion, then that case is considered as amendment to the amendment. Okay, when proposition is made to amend or alter an amendment to original motion, it is known as amendment to amendment. Then it is known as amendment to amendment. Here, the purpose is to omit, substitute, insert, or add certain words, figure, or terms in the amendment only, and should not introduce a new topic to the same. So this is what amendment to an amendment is. Coming to the point, resolution. Now we know what a motion is, what a amendment is. Coming to the point, resolution. When the motion get passed by the majority, okay, when the motion get passed in a meeting by the majority, then it become the rule, and this process is known as resolution. This process is known as resolution. When the motion passed by the majority, then it become a resolution. Then it become a resolution. A resolution is a motion that has been carried by the majority of the person present and voting in the meeting. Present and voting in the meeting. It expresses the formal will or opinion of the meeting. It expresses the formal will or opinion of the meeting. It's the final decision of the meeting, okay, about that specific agenda. A resolution once adopted cannot be amended or withdrawn except by passing a re-appealing resolution. If we once adopt a resolution, it cannot be amended or withdrawn except by passing a repealing resolution in the subsequent meeting. In the subsequent meeting, if we want to, now we have changed that rule. If I talk about that example we have started, now we have changed the rule, and if someone wanted to change our created rule, then they have to follow the same process until or unless this cannot be amended or withdrawn. Okay, this rule will not be amended or withdrawn. It should be clear, the resolution, it should be clear, exact, and stated in affirmative language. Stated in affirmative. Usually the words resolved that precede the main part of a resolution. In writing, it will be like that. We resolved that. Okay, resolved that is the abbreviation we use in preceding the main part of a resolution. Interruption. Sometimes, when a debate progresses, some members interrupt the same with a view to seek clarification, alteration on a motion, is in shelving further discussion. Sometimes members do interrupt the meetings. Okay, sometimes they do interrupt the meeting, or they do it because they do not want to. get the motion passed. Okay, and what are the reasons or how they interrupt a meeting? Amendments, point of orders, the closure, previous question, next business, a question lying on table, adjournment, postponement. Let us discuss this one by one. Amendments. Amendments are suggested the alteration in main motion. They will ask for amendments. Suppose we have presented the motion. Okay, we have moved the motion. Now the opponents will ask for the amendments. That's how they will interrupt the meeting. That's how they will interrupt the meeting. Coming to the point of orders. A point of order is interruption to draw the chairman attention to an irregularity of procedure or some other points. Irregularity of procedure of some other points. If the opponent notice some irregularity of procedure or something going against the rule in the meeting, then they will point it out to the chairman, and that thing is known as point of order. That thing is known as point of orders, and that's how they create interruption in our meeting or in our ongoing motion. And what are these point of orders? They can tell us about the on the absence of quorum. Okay, on a motion, if a motion or an amendment to a motion is not within the scope of the meeting or it is not written in the agenda, then they can interrupt us. On use of abusive language or misbehavior, they can interrupt our meeting. On procedural formalities, if we are not doing procedural formalities in a proper way and not going with rules and regulation, then they can point this point out. Okay, and interrupt our motion, create hindrance in our motion basically. The closure. When enough discussion has taken place, it is not feasible to prolong it anymore on a certain motion. A closer motion may be moved. A closer motion may be moved. If we have had enough discussion about one motion, then the closer motion can be moved. Any member may rise and move that question be now out. Any member may rise and say and they just say that the question be now out. This motion is known as closure or gap. Previous question. In this case, they try to go back to the previous agenda or previous discussion we have done in the meeting. Like, we have a third agenda, we have a motion on written on our third agenda. Now if they want to interrupt our meeting, they would like to discuss the second agenda. Okay, which we already have discussed, but they would like the meeting or the members to go and look into the second agenda just to interrupt our motion. Any member who has not already spoken on the main motion may move a previous question motion with a view to prevent a vote being taken out, on the main motion, or to shelve it. Next business. Similarly, as we have done in previous question, in this case, now the members wanted to discuss the next point. Now the members wants to discuss the next point of the agenda. Okay. On the other than previous question motion, this is another way of shivering discussion on a motion in hand. When a motion that the meeting is now proceeds to the next business, they can rise and just say the meeting now proceed to the next business is moved duly seconded. So this is next business interruption. A question lying on table. This is a motion which, when moved and seconded, takes priority over the business in hand. The motion is not debatable. The motion is not debatable in that case. If it is carried, the main motion is postponed till the members vote to take it up from the table. That's it. They can ask for the adjournment of the motion, and they can ask for the postponement of the motion. Like, we would not like to discuss this motion today, we can held another meeting for this motion. They can ask for it too. So all of these are the interruption in a meeting. Now we will discuss the voting procedures and methods. Voting is another important aspect of a meeting or to decide the fate of a motion. Now we have discussed everything or every point of that motion. Now it's time of voting. Will our motion become resolution, or it will be adjourned or will close? You will study about this in the section. Every motion which is introduced and debated in a meeting should reach its logical conclusion, that is either carried or fall. That is either carried or fall. To determine its fate, the chairman of the meeting seeks the opinion of the house. Like, they seek the opinion, or they seek the voting of every member in the house. Now, methods of voting. Voice vote. As the name says, in this scenario, what the chairman does, the chairman asks if you are in the favor of or if you approve this motion, and the and the public or the members says yes, and the public and member says yes in one go, then that is known as voice vote. They can say no as well, but they just speak, and on the basis of the voice, on the basis of the voice, we decide that the chairman decide that the motion will be carried forward or will fall. It is not a preferred way of voting. Okay, it is not reliable, as few people can few people few people or few members can bring more voice than more members. So it is not a valid point or valid way to do voting. Show of hands. Just like raising the hands, the chairman will ask if you are in favor of the motion. The members who are in favor of the motion will raise their hands, and they will, and the person or the members who are not in the favor of the motion will not raise their hands. That's how they will decide the fate of the motion in this case. Standing vote, as the name says, when chairman asks if the person, the members who are in favor of the motion, they just stand. The members who are favoring the motion, they just stand, and in that case, the chairman will count them and give the result accordingly. Division. Division. In this method, chairman asks for the division of the members, or he or she divides the members in two groups. One is favoring one, and the second one is against the motion. Okay, and they can divide and see the majority, rely on which side, and they can give their result. Ballot. Ballot. As the name says, when the issue before the house is important, there are appeals. There are appeals, differences of opinion among the members who do not wish to disclose, their voting preference. Who do not wish to disclose their voting preference, they may ask the chairman to determine the sense of the house by ballot. If the rules so provide, the chairman asks secretary to distribute a piece of paper, and the members will write a yes or no in this paper. That's it. Just like they have a box, and the chairman asks their secretary to provide each and every member who have a voting right, and that will be provided a paper, a piece of paper of equal size, and the member will write the yes or no in that paper and put that paper in that box, and later the chairman will count, or chairman or the secretary will count and declare the decision. This is what of the ballot process is. Poll. This is a voting method whereby each member with voting right may deliver his vote to an appointment officer, either orally or in writing. Generally, members are supplied with rolling papers. Each member puts down his signature on the rolling paper after writing the number of votes he can cast on his own. So, yes, this is the poll. Now, these were the methods of voting. Have some general rules of voting. A vote one cast cannot be withdrawn or altered. If you have said yes at once, then you cannot withdraw your decision. Whenever a departure from the usual voting procedure is to be made, the assent of the meeting must be obtained. All the issue should be decided by the simple majority unless special majority is prescribed. Simple majority is like if we have 50%, if we have more than 50% more voting in favor of motion, then the motion will become resolution. It should not be like special majority or you are giving some extra points to some person. It should not be like that. Absentees votes are not counted in the meetings. Votes are not counted in the meeting. Only members present and entitled to vote should be allowed to vote. If proxies are allowed as per rules, they should be checked and verified. Sometimes the members don't come, they send a proxy on their behalf. They send a proxy on their behalf, and according to the rules book, many of time proxies are not allowed to vote, but if your organization allows proxy to take decision on the behalf of member, then we should check and verify this thing, and then we can consider their voting as genuine or not. Minutes of meeting. Minutes of meeting. What is minutes of meeting? When we record every minute of meeting proceeding, then that is known as minutes of meeting. The minutes of meeting are written record of the proceedings, including the business transacted, decision taken, and resolution arrived at. So it is minute of meeting. In if we talk about the courts, okay, if we talk about the courts, there were person sitting there, okay, they just write it down. Every proceeding is held in the courtroom, they just write it down, every word from the defendant or from the prosecution. They write every word. They used to write every word. Now as well, we have people, they just write it on computer or laptop, whatever the device they are using it. So it is known as minutes of proceeding, because when we record everything in a meeting or every proceeding of a meeting, every word from every member's mouth, then that is known as minutes of meeting. Minutes of meeting may be of two kinds. First one is minute of decision, second one is minute of narrations. Minute of decisions. Minute of decisions are also known as minute of resolution. Here, the details of discussion held in the meeting are omitted, and only the final decision taken on every item are recorded in the form of resolution. Okay, in the minute of decision, we do not record every proceeding. We just record the final decision. We just record the final decision, like voting decision, who have voted for in the favor of motion, who have voted against the motion, all these things. These resolutions are usually in the affirmative form, and begin with the words resolved that or it was resolved that. So we have some abbreviation or we have some rules for writing the meetings. Minutes of narration. Minutes of narration. These are records of business covered in a meeting, including the discussion and arguments. Including the discussion and arguments in favor or against a particular proposition. The number of votes cast for and against a motion means every word echoing in the meeting room will be recorded here. Minutes of narration also record the items like number of member present, the receipt of apologies for absence, the submission of routine reports, and the passing of a vote of thanks to the chairman. So this is the minutes of meeting. I guess it's complete now. You have any questions? Nowadays we use instruments to record the meetings. Nowadays we use instruments as well, so that we can record our finally record our recording our meeting lately. So this block is completed. I hope the points are clear to you guys. If you want to discuss any point, you can write it down. You can write it down.
Can write it down.
Sorry, ma'am. Please, can you go back small the slide? Go back small. I want to screenshot it, please.
Which part?
The last. Okay. It's okay, ma'am.
Tell me, let me show. You can screenshot it from here. You wanted to screenshot minutes of meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Can record. Screenshot it from here. Wait. Yeah. Now, screenshot of this too. Take a screenshot of this too. Here is the importance of minutes. You can read it up. And if you have any issue or query, you can ask me in the comment section or in chat section. Or else we will close end the class. Distinction between minute and report. I need more explanation. I said you can download this book from the website eGyan Kosh. It's available. Wait.
No,
Let
ma.
me write it down for you guys. eGyan Kosh. Every subject I take, okay, you can download the books of my subject from the website eGyan Kosh. It's the website of IGNU. Okay, you can just write this. You can just write the name of this website on Google and can go with the very first. Can go with the very first tab. Okay, in that you can write BCOM You can search for BCom subjects and you will get the codes of subjects like BCOLA138, BCOC131, and you can click on them and download the PDFs of the books. Why are you having difficulties downloading from the site? Okay, I will ask the authorities to send you the link of the books directly. Okay, from there you can download it easily. Now, someone was asking something. Let me explain this. Distinction between minute and report. Minute and report. See, report is just the abbreviation. Okay, report is just not like disclosure of everything. Report we make in minute. In minute we record everything. We record every activity of the meeting. But in a report, we prepare a final report after the meeting. Like this thing happened in a meeting. We have proceeded like this. But it's not the exact meeting. It's not the procedure we followed in the exact meeting. So minute is recording the meeting. Minute is recording the meeting, and report is preparing the final report after the meeting. So this is the difference between the minute and report of a meeting. It's e-gyan kosh. You can write it down. E-gyan kosh. I have written it in the chat section. You can check it out. You can take screenshot of it. It's e-gyan kosh. It's e-gyan kosh. And let me show you, let me present you how you can download the books. Just wait a minute, let me share my screen to you guys. Wait a minute, let me present my section. See, you go to Google and write e-gyan kosh. Simply write e-gyan kosh. This is the first website. Okay, and you have to search bcomg. Here it is. You click on that, and these are your subjects for bcom. And my subject is BCOC. Financial accounting is my subject. Business organization and management is my subject. Let me check today's subject. BCOC. Here it is. BCOLA 138 business communication. You seeing it? You just need to click on this, and these are the blocks. Business correspondence. click on it, and here you can just do view and open, and it will get downloaded in your devices. Have you seen the process?
Yes, ma. Thank you.
Okay. So you just need to
Yes,
write
ma.
E Yan
Thank you.
Kosh. You need to write this. Okay. Screenshot it. Okay. Now we end this class. We'll meet on Saturday. Till then, keep studying. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma.
Bye, ma.
Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you. Bye,
Wishing
ma.
wishing you long life.